up, Street Thugs? Brigg here, and we're gonna go over my Rad tank build. Um, a few people have asked for this one, but uh, I just want to make sure that I point this out. This is actually my build. This is not something I expect everybody to use. Obviously, there's always room for changes. If you guys have feedback or suggestions, please let me know. I am no way claiming that this is the beat all Rad tank build that everybody should use. This is just what I prefer, my preference. So the things I kind of focused on with this build was one, resistance, and I have resistance throughout smashing and lethal, fire, energy, toxic, all at cap 90%. I think my psi is at like 41%. So all around, it's a really good build. I focused on melee defense, and it also has like about 40% defense for smashing and lethal, which was a bonus. It wasn't something I was shooting for, but it did get up there. Um, I will leave links in the description for my mids build as well as my incarnates. But my incarnates, I took agility for my alpha, and that was for recharge defense. For my interface, I took reactive. I took ageless, which because I always take ageless, and then for my hybrid, I took support, and I took support because it was extra damage, accuracy, and defense. So we're gonna go over here and kind of jump through these powers here. So, as you can see here, radiation, this is what I took. Alpha barrier, gamma boost, proton armor, fallout shelter, radiation therapy, beta decay, particle shielding, and ground zero. Okay, so we'll jump over here to radiation melee. I have contaminated strike, taunt, irradiated ground, devastating blow, and atom smasher. And we'll kind of shoot through these real fast. So over here in radiation armor, I have unbreakable guards, and you'll be able to see what I took. I took the first four, and those allow me to focus on energy and negative to increase those out, and then melee defense because it's 3.13%, and then plus you get a 2.5 endurance discount to all your powers, and then of course I have the gladiator's armor, teleportation, PvP, plus defense all. And then we'll come over here to Gamma Boost. I have all 6 of the Numinas. This gives me a huge chunk of regeneration that goes at all times because on top of all the resistances, the defenses, the defense, the other one that I really focused on was regeneration. So this one you get a huge chunk of regeneration. Plus you get the lethal and smashing resistance boost, 3.75%. But this one really gives me a boost to my regeneration at all times because it is an auto toggle. And then proton armor, we have steadfast protection, and that's across the board. And then we have proton armor here. We have the 4 unbreakable guards again, same ones. Again, energy negative resistance and melee defense. Over here to Fallout Shelter, Fallout Shelter, we have a little bit difference. You can see I took resistance, resistance endurance, resistance recharge, focusing on resistance here, and then the plus 75 max HP. The reason I have it put here is Fallout Shelter focuses on resisting mez. So here I stuck this one so I can get more resistance out of my alpha barrier. So 7.5%, I guess you want to call it proc, whatever. It's not really a proc, but that one I have there. And then over here in radiation therapy, I have the superior gauntleted fist. Now that is the tank enhancements, and I have all 6 of them, and that gives you energy and negative, energy resistance, regeneration, endurance, smashing lethal, fire and cold, melee defense at 5%. So I mean that whole set is like really usful. Over here in beta decay, I have the Achilles heel, the chance for resist debuff. Nice little proc there. And then over here we have Dark Watcher's Despair, and I have the chance for reslow, the chance for recharge slow. So this allows them to not recharge as fast, which is really beneficial. But as you can see, I took here recovery and recharge time was a big bonus there as well. Over here to particle shielding, I have 3 Numinas. Now again here I'm focusing on regeneration. So you can see I took ones that mainly focus on healing primarily. So heal endurance, heal recharge, and heal. And we'll come down here to another tank archetype enhancement. This one I took Superior Might of the Tanker, and you can see I took all of them but the one with all four act damage, endurance, recharge. And then I also have the best one, which is the chance for resist all. And of course, this gives me recharge time of 10%, and then a toxic and psionic resistance of 6%, plus mes resistance. Then we'll go over here to Contaminated Strike. Now this one is I just tossed in a proc in there, which is I think a 2-hit proc. Um, I guess it should help. Yeah, chance for 2-hit proc. I don't use these as often, the single ones, but because this build isn't like designed to just unleash AoEs, like a typical, farmer build or whatever, you are going to be using some single target. So this one allows you to, just get a little boost on your accuracy. But yeah, there you have an analyze weakness, and then we'll jump down here. I have taunt and I have recharge. Over here to radiated ground. I have five superior avalanches, convalescence. I have five superior avalanches. I took all five, but the chance for knockdown. The chance for knockdown is really, that's just a preference. I'm not a big fan of extra knockdown unless I really want it in a certain build, and it would work in this case because it's right at you. But I wasn't worried about it too much. It's actually a really nice power. I get a little skeptical about knockdown because if the knockdown stacks too much, it becomes knockback. So I'm always worried about things getting away from me. Um, but I mean, if you choose to go knockdown, go for it. It is useful. I have so much resistance, I wasn't really worried about it. As long as I can just keep everything on me, it's gonna be fine. Devastating blow. I have hecatombs, and you can see I do have the chance for negative energy for bonus damage, and that gives me the fire cold resistance, accuracy, and recharge. We'll come down to Atom Smasher. I have Armageddons. These are the I think all my purples follow the same setup. It's going to get damage, recharge, accuracy, recharge accuracy, and the proc. And the proc's usually extra damage. So those are pretty much what I'm going to do for all of them. And they're all pretty much recovery, fire and cold resistance, accuracy, and recharge. And then we'll come over here to my inherit ones. Now I have this one. My travel power is flight. I love flight. I mean, I grew up in the Superman era. I love flight, so I took flight. I know flight on a tank is some people think I'm breaking some rules, but I do have flight, and I absolutely love flight. And with afterburner, I'm just as fast as someone running. So, but I do have those hurdling, whatever. But health, I have my recovery, so that's active at all times, and then I have pretty much two that have a heal and heal endurance. You can do heal endurance, you can do heal recharge. The main thing I'm focusing on right there is one, getting as much healing as I can out of it, as well as a boost to my regeneration, which in this case it's 12% regeneration. And then, of course, I just have a normal stamina here. And we've kind of talked about that before. I'm not really big on the endurance proc. If you like it, by all means, go for it. If you feel like you get more out of it, I feel the same way about overwhelming force and sudden acceleration for the chance to turn knockback into knockdown. I feel like me personally, I'm going off the tangent here, but I feel like I get more out of overwhelming force and sudden acceleration. Other people would disagree. You do what you feel comfortable for you. If you feel like you do better with the performance shift or proc, by all means go for it. I feel like I get more out of stamina when I just throw regular invention enhancement in it, so that's what I do. Hover, uh, this is again mule power. I don't take concealment like I do in a lot of other builds, but I do have hover and afterburner here, both with defensive global recharges. If you want to get another defense and you don't go with flight, you will have to find another power to replace those with. If you want to get all five of those defense procs or defense global recharges, come down here to combat jumping. I again, luck of the gamblers. Uh, global. Now, if you'll notice here, I've got two luck of the gamblers and two shield walls. Um, regeneration. I got 10% regeneration here, and then 10% here. So I'm gonna get 20% extra regeneration from this one power. And then defense, I have global recharge, and I have a defense, regular defense. Shield wall, I have teleportation resistance and plus defense, and or no, actually it's plus resistance, and then yeah, right there, plus resistance, and then just regular defense. So coming down here even further, we're going to come to fighting. Now fighting, I have for tough, I have unbreakable guard. This is pretty much the same setup I have for like alpha barrier, proton armor. Um, it's just the first four of unbreakable guards for the endurance discount, energy and negative resistance, and the melee defense. And then weave, luck of the gambler, defense, and then shield walls, defense, and then defense endurance. Because weave is a huge boost to defense, but also a big endurance drainer. For Moo Mastery, we have Annihilation, which is the chance for resistance, so they take more damage, and then you can see there, and then a damage recharge, and those you get a nice little boost to endurance. Ball Lightning, again, this is another purple setup, so it's going to be damage, damage recharge, damage accuracy, um, or recharge accuracy, and damage reduction. Now this one doesn't have a damage proc in it. It has another knockdown. Again, I get a little wary stacking knockdowns. In this case, if I was stuck knockdown procs in both Avalanche and Ragnarok, there would be a good chance that they would start to stack and then everything would start flopping backwards. So I try to avoid that. But again, here, same thing. Recovery, fire, cold resistance, accuracy, and recharge. And then we'll come down here to Moo Lightning. Now, Moo Lightning, again, same damage. Again, purple. And this one does have a damage proc, but, regeneration, damage, and recharge. You'll notice this one actually has slightly different set bonuses, but regeneration, 16%, huge, because this is something that I'm focusing on this build is regeneration. 4% damage is always nice, especially with the new tank setups, and then recharge. And then we'll come down here to maneuvers, my final one. This one is, I have my fifth and final like rule of 5 global recharge. And then I have a defense one. Now my defense was at like 44.8%, so you'll notice that I do have some of these boosted. This one gives me defense. I have this one stacked to +2, and this one stacked at +4, because weave gives you 5% defense, I believe, or maneuvers give you 2.63, a base, and then combat jumping is like 2.5. So this one I stacked to 4 just to get as much out of it as I could, and the same thing with maneuvers, added a little bit more just to get me over that 45%, so that I don't have to worry about trying to stack powers to get that 45%. I prefer having my melee defense, which is my primary goal in this one, to be at a resting 45%, rather than trying to get up there. My resistances, a couple of them are like 89% if I'm just standing around. The moment I go into fight and start hitting powers, it's capped at 90 like instantly. And it pretty much holds at 90 until I'm done fighting and all by myself. But still, if I'm at a resting 89% resistance, that's not bad. But those are those setups. That is my rad tank build. It is a super fun build. It is almost capped at resistance across the board. But if you guys have any questions or suggestions, feedback, please leave a comment. I'm always open to hear new ideas. I am not against making changes, or if you guys got a good idea, I would love to hear it, because if I can make it better, like I said, this is just something that's always worked for me. It wasn't something that I was like, I'm out for the greatest of all time rad tank build. I just made something that I felt comfortable with that worked for me. If you've got a better suggestion, please let me know. The link is in the description for the mids, so if you want to pull that, download that, throw it in the mids, kind of tinker with yourself, please, by all means. Super fun build, super strong, way better than my Invul build I had back in the day on the original Brigg. But thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment if you have any suggestions. I appreciate all your support. Please remember to subscribe, share, like, ring the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching. Stay golden and take care. Bye-bye.